Jimmy Dore desperately wants you to know that that Ukraine is losing and Russia is winning. Russia is kicking some Ukrainian Nazi ass, and the Western media will lie. Western media admits Ukraine is losing the war because of Severodonetsk specifically, is what I guess he's referring to. Severodonetsk. Let's see. Oh, that's in here, maybe. Doop-a-doo, doop-a-doo. Yeah. So what he's referring to is this part. Severodonetsk attack map. Russian troops are rapidly expanding control of the urban area. Given the proximity to the Donetsk River, it's likely the Ukrainian forces will conduct a tactical withdrawal. The Donetsk will be established as a new line of defense. That's around this particular city. And that this river is on the other side. The other thing is that they are drawing them out into a lowland area for when they get long-range artillery in the area, and then, yeah. So that's probably what he's talking about, is the Severodonetsk area. Never mind the fact that you've got hundreds of Russian troops who are fleeing the country. There was a recording of a military leader calling Putin a motherfucker. But yeah. Yes, the Jimmy Dore Show with... So
Ukraine is losing the war very badly.
Very badly. I mean, I don't know if Kiev fell already. They don't have Lviv. No one's making pickles.
Even though you've been told the opposite in the corporate press.
Yes, the corporate press is telling us the opposite, that they're winning somehow. The corporate press.
But now some of the corporate press are starting to admit it.
Okay, so and by the way, I don't think when he talks about corporate press, he's talking about Chuck. This is Chuck Farrer. He does a lot of NatSec stuff on this. Here you go. This is, by the way, just in case you're wondering what side Jimmy is on. Jimmy is on the side of the people who killed these folks. Russian forces have murdered, raped, and plundered civilians in the Kiev suburb of Bucha and repeatedly attacked civilian infrastructure, including hospitals. Now the International Criminal Court is opening an investigative office in Kiev, which they, of course, would do if the Ukrainians were losing. They wouldn't be, they'd be... morale is a factor. Russia has confirmed the loss of 101 BMP-3 infantry fighting vehicles. Of these, 40 were captured by Ukrainian forces. All of these vehicles, only 4 were damaged. The rest were abandoned intact by Russian crews who bailed out and ran. The Russian army is now visually confirmed to have lost more than 100 BMP-3 infantry fighting vehicles. Putin's earlier invasion of the Republic of Georgia created the puppet state of South Ossetia. Anatoly Bibilov, Moscow's designated leader, announced today that he's canceling a referendum on formally joining South Ossetia with Russia because it's failing. They were gonna have one of these fake referendums like they have in Crimea and in Donetsk and Luhansk, and they decided against it because they realized they were gonna lose. To the surprise of none of my colleagues in non-proliferation, Tehran has revealed more than 18 times the limit of that's the Iranian stuff. We'll talk about that at some point too. VIP Bird Down reported that Ukrainian forces have shot down a specially modified Russian Mi-35 MS helicopter. This unique variant is used as a VIP transport, command and control communication C3 platform. No word on RU casualties. Let's see. There's the Donbass. Blunting Russia's offensive has been important, if costly, tactical imperative for Ukraine. In the coming weeks, Russia will have to dig in and defend what it has taken. These static positions, troop concentration, and logistics will be fair game for the Ukrainians' new precision weapons. So basically, the Ukrainians are getting a bunch of shit from the United States, including some long-range weapons, but specifically the howitzers that are moving into the range of where the Russians are. And they are doing these tactical withdrawals to draw them out onto the fields. There's a dude, I'm going to show you let's see. Let's see. There's a few different people doing stuff. Let me see if I can find this dude's channel. Doop-a-doo-doo. Videos. Here we go. Let's see. Yeah, here you go. So
how are you guys doing? Welcome over here to the channel. Yesterday, I actually decided
this guy makes a map every day. Let me see if I can find this for you. He talks about some of the Russian folks, whatever, and some of the. Okay, so here's his map. He talks like, I'll show you. He breaks down and writes like what roads the Ukrainians would need to take, and like he's basically like military strategy porn on YouTube.
lines are going to be the logistical routes like I was talking about. Blue is going to be Ukraine, and these red area is going to be the Russian held areas. Now, there was a third Russian reinforced BTGs that apparently attempted to cross the Seversky Donetsk River. Once again, I don't know why they keep doing this, which we're going to slide down over here. It's okay. We were just up there in Kharkiv. We're going to move down over here into this area. Here's Bielorvika. So we know they.
By the way, if you'll notice these pink areas, what you may look at them and go, hey, those pink areas where the Russians are look a shit ton like the areas that Russia had been holding since 2014. And you would be right.
They attempted one here that didn't pan out. There's another one over here they didn't pan out as well. And I believe there's another one that is going to be attempted about roughly right here. Okay. So I'm going to move back.
So they built these bridges, these across the river, these pontoon bridges, and then they keep getting hit.
Over in this area. So I spoke about this in my last episode, and I'm going to tell you guys right now, I wouldn't be shocked. I said this. I wouldn't be shocked if they attempted this river crossing in or around the same area just to prove they could. Well, it seems that they couldn't, and the Ukrainian military has actually completely destroyed another Russian BTG while attempting to cross the river in the village of Severnobrinka. So it's right here, right to the west of.
See, this area right here is where he's talking about. Like this is the area. They tried to cross the river here and they got wiped out. This is what's, and by the way, this isn't the corporate media. I'm not showing you, like this dude, arguably, I'm going to go with probably a Trump voter. Young dude, military. When it's played loud, I'm going to stop your audio is low. Okay, beg your pardon. He's pretty loud. All right, I'll bring this down. Sorry. So none of these guys are like corporate media.
So just so
ERP or DERP. Hold on.
So this is the eastern region of Ukraine.
I
It's
know.
called the Donbass. And there's the Luhansk region and there's the Donetsk region.
Hold on one second.
And Russia controls all of this. This is the part that Ukraine controls, this purple part. The rest of this is Russian controlled.
Yeah, it's the part that borders Russia. It's the part they rolled in all of their shit to take that area. They moved fucking people into these two areas, declared them autonomous, and filled them with Russian troops and citizens over the years. And in all this, in fucking 3 months, what have they taken? This area north of it, which is a bunch of fucking empty land that also borders with Russia that they can just basically train car shit in from. And they already controlled this area, the land bridge area down to here. And it took them forever to bomb the fuck out of Mariupol. Look at this. Russian-backed separatist regions, which, by the way, this Donetsk and Luhansk, these are the regions that they declared autonomous. Russian advances here and here from when, by the way, this is the BBC. Russia's invasion of Donbass, pre-invasion now. Yes, this is the part where they rolled in. The entire Russian military has taken a bunch of empty, like, towns they already controlled because they had people in there, and farmland that's empty.
And that's where Ukraine had been shelling for 8 years straight, killing these people.
Yes, because the Russians there didn't murder any of the Ukrainians in the area.
Because these are the Russian separatists who didn't want to go along with the coup that the United States.
This is bullshit about the 2014. Because Jimmy Dore is a pro-Yanukovych genocide. At this point, he's just... Let me explain something to you. Jimmy doesn't think there's a Uyghur genocide in China. You think he's going to give a rat fuck about Ukrainians?
Did in 2014 that overthrew Ukraine's government.
No, they didn't.
So these...
Ukraine has a government because they had a coup. The previous government under Yanukovych was a Russian sock puppet group.
people didn't want to go along with it because that government was
because the Ukrainians in that area had been murdered and Russian citizens had been moved in over the years to take that territory.
aligned with Nazis.
Yes, that's what it is. The whole United States, the Canada, all of Europe, especially France and Germany, the Swedes, Finland, the UK, Scotland, Ireland, they've all just decided, you know what? World War II was a fucking mistake. We're gonna throw our hat in on the Nazi side of this argument. I mean, and again, the dipshittery around the Azov Battalion stuff, which again, if you are to agree with Jimmy, then you must allow that. Hold on, there we go. If you're going to agree, argue that because there were 9 Nazis in the Azov Battalion before it was brought into the overall military, and they started purging people out of that, before they got a Jewish president, and that time doesn't move forward, but that you're going to say that at any point pre-2014 or even in 2015 during the post Yanukovych and Poroshenko regimes in Ukraine, that if that is a reason why the Russians should be able to attack and strafe bomb Ukraine, wipe out their existence, then what the fuck is he bitching about Yemen for? Why can't Saudi Arabia and the United States just nuke Yemen at this point? Because this is from a fucking couple of months ago. This isn't like 15 guys, and if you look at it crossways, like old Viking symbols that people incorporate in the Slavic areas of Europe sure do look Nazi-esque, even though the swastika was stolen from the fucking Tibetan Buddhists and inverted. Anybody who uses Viking runes or their Slavic background or whatever, clearly Nazi sympathizers. But America is doing horrible things in Yemen that we shouldn't be allowed to do. Meanwhile, this is just a couple of months ago. And they're not even, and this is like large groups in the streets. This isn't people like, wink, wink, we're using a symbol, wink, wink. That's the Houthis in Yemen who are fighting the Saudis. Just for the record. Does Jimmy know that? Of course he knows that. He's a liar.
And they don't want to go along with Nazis. Russians hate Nazis.
Yes, that's the Russians just hate Nazis. That's the thing. They hate them. That's why they're acting just like them. Russians hate it. Unlike who? The Western world that fought them? The fuck are you talking about? And again, this is just some goofy shit. This is coloring book level understanding of history.
And so
Nazis. These are all the Nazi areas. They're just trying to denazify this area.
And there was a peace agreement that Ukraine was supposed to leave these people alone.
No. There was a gun at the head of the Ukrainians put there by the Russian sock puppet that was running the fucking place. There is no Minsk. And by the way, if I may, hold on. Like, this asshole just does not follow fucking anybody in this shit. Hold on. Here, let's get this. Motion media monitor. There we go. Hold on one second. I'm gonna find something for you. Yeah, this will be good. Hold on. Hold on. There's so much of this shit. It's hard to like sort through. There you go. geopolitically, here you go. Hold on.
Оно проходило методом расширения территории.
Outside the boundaries of our nation.
нашего государства.
Hold on, I'll put this down. Regardless of the nationality, that person is a Russian. This collective Russian man had to be ready to defend his motherland always. There were many wars. This conglomerate of ethnicities and many other examples of human qualities has formed the foundation of Russian armies. He's been sending in the Chechens and the Georgians. There's studies on military capabilities. Hold on. There's an easier one. Hold on. There's this dude doesn't fucking. Yeah, hey, that was one of the. Here you go. Okay. That to destroy the entire. Here you go. This is them talking about. Here you go. I'll tell you that to destroy the entire east coast of the U.S., 2 Sarmat missiles are necessary. That's the Satan missile, by the way, just so you know. Let's see. They think the mushroom will be taller than a high-rise. That mushroom will be visible from Mexico. Guys, you're so funny. What methods are they even using? They're trying to raise the stakes. Are we supposed to object to that? We shouldn't fall for it. We're just explaining that their calculations are off. Here's what you need to calculate. Don't delude yourselves. What should be said is that there'll be nothing left. No one harbors any illusions about it. That everyone will be fine in a case of nuclear war. No one will be fine, but calculate it correctly. There was a good example in your early broadcast. That despite all of the Nazification, books, etc., and cutting off Russian TV channels in Ukraine. Oh, Russian TV channels. 40% of Ukrainians are against tearing down World War II monuments. 36% are neutral. They're neutral only because they're afraid. 3/4 of Ukrainians are against tearing down monuments. By the way, recognize this Trump stuff. Only 19% are for it. 12 to 15% also believe it shouldn't be done. So the maximum of 5% are incurable. Simply put, 2 million. They're taking down Soviet military stuff inside there and replacing them with Ukrainian fighters. Azov is fascist SS. This is Ukraine's armed forces are Wehrmacht. This is all plain to see. Those 2 million people should either have left Ukraine or to be denazified, which means to be destroyed. For me, this is civil war, unfortunately. This is civil war. Well, but it's with another country. That is the problem. It hurts my heart because Russians are fighting Russians. Like it was during our Civil War. 10 million were laid down for no reason, and the West and allies wanted to partition Russia. Are things any different now? They push people against each other. And why can't you partner with them? Why do you have to invade to do it? Okay, 10, 15 countries, to make 10 to 15 countries out of Russia so it never poses a problem for them again. That's the collapse of the Soviet Union. They will not succeed. Okay, there, blah, blah. Okay. Good times. This dude, let's see, proper changes. Okay, top propagandists on Russian TV are hyping up a bill abolishing the age cap for people up to 50 years old to serve with the Russian armed forces. This is how good they're winning. They, in 2 weeks' time, they raised the age you could join the military from 30 to 35 to 40 to 45 and now to 50 in 2 fucking weeks. Proper changes with the age cap for the first and second contract. I think that's important. I talked to many people that those who want to go to war are guys younger than me and those of my age because they know a lot and are capable. They clearly understand things. Many felt bad they didn't have such an opportunity to go in as volunteers under contract. The support among the people is colossal. Also, we don't have many young people. We have a demographic gap. We have more people in the middle age and older. And we can still do plenty. They're running out of they're sending their like mating age men to fucking die in Ukraine. And the fact that Jimmy is pointing at this map of the enormity. Look, and you kind of have to point to that small a map. Hold on. Let's see. Russia. Let's just do this. See if I can. There you go. There you go. When you look at this and you go, Russia is kicking Ukraine's ass right now. Look at this pink area and look at this little like yellow area where they officially had this as before the, this is the places they declared separatist and then they moved shit in because they invaded. Now, if you'd looked at this, you'd go, oh my God, look how much like Ukraine has lost in this, size-wise. This is the size of the country they're up against. This is Ukraine down here. That's Crimea. This is the area he's talking about, this little area right here. This giant fucking country has been fighting for 3 fucking months, and they've taken the area they already had. Think about that for a second. Look at the size of this fucking country. And Belarus is helping them. Right here. They entered into, from the north, or from their south, from Belarus' south, into the north of Ukraine to try and attack Kiev and were rebuffed. Ended up just raping and murdering a bunch of people and then ran back out to Belarus and regrouped around here. The size of Russia as a federation, as a country, by its riches, all that shit. And this motherfucker is like, oh, look. Look how much they took. All right.
They didn't. They kept shelling them. So now you know. So that's what's. So that
now you know the Minsk agreement, which was made with Poroshenko and Yanukovych, which the Ukrainian people had no choice in, which is just like, even though that area of your country we took, we get to keep it.
Russia was like, all right, we're taking over. If you won't stop killing them. So now that's what's going on. And now they.
No, I thought this was because of NATO expansion. What are you talking about? What, wasn't it denazification and NATO expansion? What, all of a sudden, it's because they were shelling in an area where there was ongoing war from both sides for 8 years?
They have taken over. Russia has taken over.
No, they have not taken over.
In the Donbass.
In the Donbass, in the area that they already were.
So purple, that again, this is Ukraine territory. The rest of this is Russian.
No, the white area is all Ukraine. The Ukrainians don't just control this purple part, fucko. Also, that's old. Hold on, when is this? May 29th, source UK Mod Institute for Study of War. Okay, hold on one second. That, and by the way, that says held or regained by Russia. This is Russian control. The only expansion that they've had, see this purple area and these actual things, they've taken back Kharkiv and the area around it. They're pushing back towards Izium, is this idea right here. And Severodonetsk, they're trying to connect this area right here, but they fucking well can't.
Okay, there's At Mariupol, Donetsk, Luhansk. Oh, here's another. So this is all Russian control now.
No, it isn't. Severodonetsk is not controlled by them right now. They are drawing them out into this region. If you have a topographical map, you would see that there are hillsides all along this area, and that by drawing into these areas, they are just pelting them with shit. Yeah, he's not pointing out. Look, held or regained by Ukraine. Whip, whip, right here. Russian military control has been around here. Russian advances. They made slight advances in farmland here and here. Look at these. Look at this little hashy area. The fucking Ukrainians just took back Kharkiv and this entire area. Direction of Russian advance. From their fucking border, they're advancing into Donetsk and Luhansk, into the areas they previously controlled. Fucknut.
Ukrainian volunteer fighters in the east feel abandoned.
And they do. They so do. They feel abandoned. The Ukrainian volunteer fighters. And okay, hold on. Well, I mean, that's the thing about Nazis. They're unreliable. Washington Post by Sudarshan Raghavan, updated May 26th. Stuck in their trenches, the Ukrainian volunteers lived off potato per day as Russian forces pounded them with artillery and grad rockets on a key eastern front line. Outnumbered, untrained, and clutching only light weapons, the men prayed for the barrage to end and for their own tanks to stop targeting the Russians. Russians, already know where we are, and when the Ukrainian tank shoots from our side, it gives away our position, said their company commander. These are and they started firing back everything, grads, mortars, and you just pray to survive. Ukrainian leaders have projected and nurtured a public image of military invulnerability of their volunteer and professional forces triumphantly standing up to the Russian onslaught. Videos of assaults on Russian tanks and positions. Postal Service even released stamps commemorating the sinking of the Russian warship in the Black Sea. Right. Ukrainian forces have succeeded in thwarting Russian efforts to seize Kiev and Kharkiv and have scored battlefield victories in the east. But the experience of Lapko and his group of volunteers offers a rare, more realistic portrait of the conflict. The Ukrainian struggle to hold. This is by the way, this is in the region where the bombing has been going on for years. This is that area. Halt the Russian advance in parts of Donbass, right? Like Russia has provided scant information about deaths, injuries, and losses of military equipment, but after 3 months of war, this company of 120 men is down to 54 because of deaths, injuries, and desertions. 120 down to 54 on the front line of a battle. 120 men down to 54. This is the fucking article he's citing. He's talking about 120 guys, Ukrainian volunteer fighters in the East feel abandoned. This particular group, down to 120. Okay, hold on. Let's see. This is from the Moscow Times. This is, updated 14 hours ago. Russian army death toll in Ukraine tops 3,000 investigation. More than 3,000 Russians have been killed in Ukraine after more than 3 months of conflict. I think they mean 30, by the way. Source to identify that they're off by, 3,052 dead troops. Okay, hold on one second. Now, let's see what the other, hold on. Russian death, because I think they're off by a 0. Here you go. Tending to Russia's dead as they pile up in Ukraine. Body bags holding Russian soldiers in refrigerated train car in Kharkiv, Ukraine on Sunday. They lie in white and black bags at 20 degrees below 0 Celsius, but the stench is still overpowering, filled with the bodies of 62 Russian soldiers. The bags are stacked in a refrigerated train car in a secret location on the outskirts of Ukraine's second largest city. A spry elderly train worker spun open the vault-like door to reveal the bloodied bags as the scent hung in the damp air. We are collecting these bodies for sanitary reasons because dogs have been eating them, said a Ukrainian soldier who would only give his call sign Summer. Eventually, we will return them to their loved ones. Summer said many of the bodies... That's very strange. It's my girlfriend's name. It's just very odd. Summer said many of the bodies had been lying in the open for a month or longer before his unit found them. His two-man team works to identify the soldiers by their faces, tattoos, and belongings. They also take a DNA swab from each corpse to determine whether any potential war crime suspects are among them. In the gloom of the darkened car, a few traces of humanity of the soldiers who once brought Russia's war to Ukraine can be made out. A pair of boots, caked in mud, peek out of one bag. Off in the corner, the collar of a camouflage jacket is visible through an opening, but not a face. Summers' colleague, who refused to even use his first initial because of the sensitivity of the topic, said there were only 2 men in their unit tasked with finding and preserving the bodies of the enemy. He said identifications were possible about 50% of the time, while in other cases the corpses were too deteriorated. Most of the bodies had been found in villages around Kharkiv. This is the best work in the world, he said, of the grim satisfaction to be found in collecting the corpses of the invader. In recent weeks, Ukrainian army successfully counterattacked Russian forces, pushing them further from Kharkiv and giving the city a sense of calm, at least until shelling resumed again on Wednesday. When the Russians retreated, they left some of their fallen behind. And as Kharkiv inhabitants have been returning tentatively to villages, they have been in the line of fire. Some have found the bodies in their homes or have stumbled across them elsewhere. This story that he's using as his reference is about 120 volunteers who are down to 52 who are in this area. That's the story he chose. Meanwhile, and we'll see if he sources it. I'm curious where he goes further with this.
I'm going to get to that in a minute.
Yeah, get to it in a minute.
Because that's also from the Washington Post, telling the truth. Here's Ukraine suffers a battle on battlefield while...
Yeah, nobody suffers on a battlefield. It's always one side partying and the other side is having a great time. By the way, you do realize the underdog in any fight is going to be suffering more than the overwhelming force of a giant fucking imperialist nation.
Pleading for U.S. arms. This is in the Washington Post.
Right. They want long-range missiles. We don't want them to fire them into Russia and escalate the war, so we're tentative about giving those. So we're giving them other stuff.
And this is from May 29th.
Right. Okay, again, shall we look at this one? You guys want to look at that headline? See if it's everything Jimmy, Ukrainian, Ukraine, oops. I can type. Suffers on a battlefield while pleading for U.S. arms. Okay, that's, 2 days ago. Here you go. Well, this is the article. They're just raining down metal on us, said a soldier fresh from the front line where Russia is advancing. Donetsk Oblast. Yeah, again, this is in the area that they've already established. These guys are on the front line of pushing back against Russia in an area that Russia had already claimed. The ambulances hurtled into the parking lot one after the other, each carrying wounded troops directly from the nearby front line. One young man stared straight ahead, his face swollen, his neck and back dripping with blood. Others lay silently under foil blankets. Some stumble on the back doors and collapse into wheelchairs as staff members rush them inside. Nearby bloodied cots sat propped up against it. Yeah, it's war. About 10 wounded soldiers, 10, arrived at this hospital in eastern Ukraine in less than an hour Sunday morning. The latest military casualties as Ukrainian forces, outgunned by Russia in the country's east, continue to lose territory at a critical moment in the war. The Washington Post is withholding the name and precise location of the hospital out of concerns from staff members it could be targeted by Russian forces. You think? 70 people from my battalion were injured in the last week, said a soldier and ambulance driver just outside the hospital gates who identified himself only as Vlad, 29. I lost too many friends. It's hard for me. I don't know how many. It's getting worse every day. They're on the front lines in the east. The night before, he said shelling was so loud he hardly got any sleep. It's all artillery bombing down. All the wounded are coming from shrapnel. Most guys in the trenches haven't even seen the enemy face to face. That's because the Russians are just bombing them like crazy. Last week, one battalion of young soldiers on a road near Kramatorsk spent their days digging defensive trenches in a pocket not far from the front line. They were gearing up to provide additional support for the soldiers battling the Russians head-on, preparing for worst-case scenario in which Russian forces continue to accelerate their current advance, which they aren't doing. They're just bombing from far away. They're not sending their soldiers in. They can't afford to, and they don't have them. That would be a potential turning point on the battlefield. You'll recall the pontoon bridge getting blown up. Let's see. Moses pontoon bridge. Da-ba-da. So he's using this article where 72 killed or injured that they're talking about, and the fact that these guys are just getting shelled, which it's the front line, it's war. So pretending that they won't get it is fucking ridiculous. Meanwhile, just like a week and a half ago, Kiev, Ukraine, Russian forces suffered heavy losses in Ukrainian attack that destroyed a pontoon bridge where they were trying to cross a river in the east. That's the same area we're talking about. Ukrainian British officials said in another sign of Moscow's struggle to salvage a war gone awry. Ukrainian authorities, meanwhile, opened the first war crimes trial, blah, 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 the trial underway. Okay, Ukraine's airborne thing. Here you go. Ukraine drone footage shows bridge destroyed. And then these are all vehicles. Tick, 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 tick. This is the bridge that they built. These are, and look at that field. That's where all the fucking stuff is. This business. See these guys parked here? These are all wrecked. Yeah. That was about a week and a half ago. That, by the way, they've done that 3 times since. The Ukrainians have blown up 3 of those pontoon bridges.
In recent days, Russian troops have captured the towns of Svitodarsk. I don't know how to say. Do you know how to say that, Jackson?
Svitlodarsk.
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 And Lyman.
Yeah, I got it. And Lyman, and have closed in on Severodonetsk.
Severodonetsk.
A large regional hub where Russian forces have entered
That was a weird edit.
a hotel on the city limits.
Yes, on the outer edge, they claimed a hotel and the troops were engaged in person-to-person combat.
Russian troops managed to encircle and take the city, Moscow would occupy nearly all of Ukraine's easternmost Luhansk region.
The place that they declared as independent already.
Which makes up roughly half the Donbass. So,
right, half of the Donbass. That's what they've had since 2014.
I'll show you where that is. That's over. So this is the Luhansk region here. But they have taken it all over. They've gotten it. And here's that, that's that town we're talking about right here.
Uh-huh.
They got it.
No, they didn't get it. They had a hotel on the edge of town. They're talking about drawing back and having them take half the city so they can pummel them. That's what I showed you
The
earlier.
situation in the country's east marks a shift from an earlier stage of the war when staunch Ukrainian defenses forced a broad Russian retreat in Kiev.
This seems like it's news to Jimmy.
And other areas.
Huh? Along with Kharkiv.
Increasing confidence among Ukrainians and their Western backers about the prospects of all-out victory over a poorly organized and equipped Russian force. The exact opposite is it's a poorly organized and poorly equipped Ukrainian force.
No, it isn't. Where the fuck does he even get that?
It's not the other way around.
Yes, it is. I want him to have some evidence to how well Russia, a ginormous fucking country, is doing against Ukraine, claiming territories that they already filled with Russians over the last 8 to 12 years. Jesus.
Okay.
Where's that 40 billion going to, by the way?
It just arrived. It's going to this.
Right?
Did they get
Right?
their bullets yet?
Right? They
No.
have not gotten
It's on its way.
them yet, Kurt.
Right. And they just took back Kharkiv without it, with the stuff we already gave them. Fucking hell.
Though Ukrainian resistance has made the fight a slog for Russian forces,
Which, in a tiny little country against a ginormous fucking country, but I don't think Russia. It looks like he's about to say, call that into question. He doesn't believe that.
Moscow is inching closer to encircling Ukraine's biggest strongholds in the Donbass region while fighting on territory contiguous to Russia with easier supply lines.
Uh-huh. Yes, their border.
They've already done this.
No, they have not.
We are defending. Oh, so here is Zelensky. So this is a report from May 29th. We are defending our land insofar as the defense resources we have today will allow. We're doing everything we can to strengthen them, and we will strengthen them, Zelensky said. If the occupiers think Severodonetsk or Lyman will be theirs, they are mistaken. Donbass will be Ukrainian. He said that.
Right. Because it's their fucking country.
On the same day, that Russians took it over.
Right. They're not going to hold on to it. Yeah. And by the way, Russia says Eastern Ukraine. That's Reuters, who still runs TASS stories.
He said that on the exact same day.
Right. They're not going to hold it.
So this is May 28th. This newspaper article is from the 29th. He said it on that same day that this happened.
That Russia said that.
Russia says Eastern
Russia says. Russia says.
Ukraine town of Lyman is under its full control.
Well, Russia's lying, then, obviously.
And again, I don't quite know why this is funny. I'm dead serious. Like the war of this is horrifying. This is terrible that this is going on. But this idea that it's just kind of like an odd gotcha is fucked up.
So what's remarkable about this
Is that you're a lunatic who is praying for the death of Ukrainians?
that the Washington Post is saying it. They're still filling it with propaganda, but that's the truth.
No, that's what Russia says.
Anything you'd like to say about this, Jackson, before we move on? Because I'm going to do a story about them being abandoned, and I'm doing a story about everybody who's calling for a peace process as being called an appeaser.
Yeah, he has that in another clip. We don't, he had a whole show of it. I had it queued up yesterday. Remember that was when that noise came in? It was background music. This is from his show yesterday.
As far as those two cities, Liman and Severodonetsk, they took several hundred Ukrainian troops. They surrendered in Liman, which is a big surrender. And then in Severodonetsk, they moved to a neighboring city of Lysychansk, and there's 16,000 Ukrainian troops that are pretty much encircled there. That
pretty much.
I mean, altogether so far, they've only been able to gather about 8,000 Ukrainian troops. So in one city, they're about to encircle 2 times as many.
They're about to, but you know who you're rooting for at this point.
Ukrainian troops as they've taken all together. And that's why you're seeing the breakdown of these troops, and some of the brigades are beginning to refuse to fight. And what I'd be worried about if I was Zelensky is a pending coup, because
holy shit. No, not even fucking close. A pending coup. The Russians want him murdered, and this is actually the kind of stuff you're hearing from the Russian military. Where we go? Like this asshole, and what's her name? The crazy woman. Here we go. I've come up with a fairy tale scenario, says this dude, that at some point in the near future, some military official of a NATO country will travel to meet with Zelensky, pick his nose, on a train to Kiev and never get there. But instead will wake up somewhere in Moscow. We will do the kidnapping? Yes. And we'll figure out which orders he has given and what he's responsible for. By the way, I don't think that it's so far-fetched. We used to use the world functioning. We got used to the world functioning a certain way, but after the 24th of February, it works differently. There are new rules in this world. Any military official that wants to go to Kiev tomorrow should think whether they want to wake up in Moscow. Maybe some of them dream of waking up in Moscow. Not to wake up in Moscow and face a trial. The last one to come were Ben Wallace, Defense Secretary of the UK, who said Russia is a rightful target for Zelensky. And Lloyd Austin, also a great comrade of ours. I wasn't going to name them, but you did. So the idea is that they travel there to help Zelensky. They're going to be kidnapped. By the way, there's been this weird full court press about, here you go. The Russian army proudly shows how to obliterate the center of Ukrainian town in just 8 seconds, and Olaf Scholz meanwhile speaks to Putin by telephone for 80 minutes. This is them blowing up a Russian town, a Ukrainian town. Just from far away, just residential houses, just pelting them with shit, dumb bombs. This is what Jimmy's for. This is Jimmy. as to what happens with Russia when the appeasers who call on Ukraine to cede territory to Russia for the sake of imaginary peace, feel like they grow emboldened and want even more from both Ukraine and the West. Okay, that's the that's excellent. Divide and conquer. And this is the Washington Post, the same article, like Jimmy Dore saying, this is the Washington Post that's saying this. The Washington Post is also saying now is not the time to seek a deal with Putin. It would be a disaster, both moral and strategic. There's a cat. The cats are fucking over all this shit. There you go. Russia's inciting genocide in Ukraine. A new report by legal scholars and human rights experts said mass killings, attacks on shelters or evacuation routes, and the shelling of residential areas established a genocidal pattern, the report found. But, they have it coming, guys, because they're Nazis, and that's what Jimmy says. So, they deserve, they should have known, that Jimmy one day hopes to have a show on this network, on Pravda. Here you go. Hold on. All this is part of the Russian Mir, Rusk Mir. Are you saying he'll be arrested now? No, because aside from us, nobody knows about it. Can you imagine how many people over there are studying every word, translating, looking closely, watching their show? I don't doubt it at all. Isn't that nice? All this part of the Russian world. Okay. By the Rusk Mir is the idea that Russia is the world rotates around Russia, and that all these satellite countries are going to fall back under the Russian world. Let's see. Behind all these nuclear threats, it claims that America wouldn't help Europe if Russia decides to nuke it. There's an underlying panic about Russia being economically unprepared to wage this war. We've seen that part before. Let's see. Very serious market competition behind all this. Multiple programs, it must be one of their mandatory assignments. The gist of it is, yes, there will be global hunger, but those who have good relations with Russia won't starve, primitive, cruel, and callous. Yeah, this is agitprop. U.S. preparing to approve advanced long-range rocket system for Ukraine. That's, by the way, this is the big step forward that everybody's freaking out about. This bit right here. U.S. preparing... Oh, hold on, let me shrink this down so Jimmy can see it. U.S. preparing to approve advanced long-range rocket system for Ukraine as Russian TV host warns of crossing a red line. All we're doing is saying, we're going to give you these things, but we're going to set the range of where you can put them as deeper in the country so that they can't fly over the Russian border. They got to be like a mile shy in their total range of the Russian border as far as, a dead hit. The Biden administration is preparing to step up the kind of weaponry it is offering Ukraine by sending advanced long-range rocket systems that are now the top request from Ukrainian officials. The administration is leaning towards sending the systems as part of a larger package of military and security assistance to Ukraine, which could be announced as soon as next week. Senior Ukrainian officials, including President Volodymyr Zelensky, have pleaded in recent weeks for the U.S. and its allies to provide the multiple launch rocket systems, MLRS. The U.S.-made weapon systems can fire a barrage of rockets hundreds of kilometers, much farther than any of the systems Ukraine already has, which the Ukrainians argue would be a game changer in their war against Russia. Another system Ukraine has asked for its high mobility artillery rocket systems. HIMARS, a lighter wheeled system capable of firing many of the same types of ammunition as MLRSs, so they can't get hit back. Russia has in recent weeks pummeled Ukraine in the east, where Ukraine is outmanned and outgunned. The Biden administration wavered for weeks, however, on whether to send the systems, and concerns raised in the National Security Council that Ukraine could use the new weapons to carry out offensive attacks inside Russia. On Friday, the CNN first reported the news. Russians warned the United States will cross a red line if it supplies these systems to Ukraine. That's why. These business. Jimmy apparently just wants the frontline soldiers to just die. Just show that they're Nazis and die.
If you have the breakdown of troops in the east and military commanders don't want their troops to continue fighting, it's very possible that there could be a military coup against Zelensky.
No, it isn't. That's just fucking dumb. I mean, it's a cartoon. Like, that you could argue that there might be troops refuse to fight and they might have supply lines that are cut off and yada yada. But the idea that there's going to be a coup against Zelensky is it's ridiculous. It's cartoonishly dumb. It's wishful thinking from from a Russian, talking point. And believe me, all of these assholes are rooting for Ukraine to lose.
Who's taking Washington's orders to continue telling these soldiers to fight despite the fact that they will, without a doubt, be captured or worse.
So that's, by the way, that's Jimmy just siding with the Russian attack. That and again, this is how we know that Jimmy is an anti-Semite. Oh, explain? You want me to explain? I'll tell you why. Because when Israel does this kind of stuff in Palestine, Jimmy attacks them. When Russia does this stuff in Ukraine, he doesn't. What's the difference between the actions? Nothing. Occupiers, saying, making agreements not to take more land and then taking more land, killing people, removing them from their homes, murdering and disappearing people in the process, killing reporters and the like. That's what Russia's doing right now. That's what Jimmy rails on Israel for doing. The only difference is that the Russians are white, I guess Greek Orthodox or some shit like that, Russian Orthodox Christians, I suppose. And the Israelis are Jews, by and large. And so when Jimmy hates on Israel for doing what Russia does, but gives Russia a pass, that's how you know it's anti-Semitism and not just geopolitical ethics. Because if it wasn't about the fact that Jews were doing it, you'd hate it when both groups do it. You'd argue that both actions are wrong. But apparently, it's only wrong when Jews do it. And when the Russians do it, it's, they gotta. You know what I mean? The Palestinians are basically Nazis too, I guess, in this equation. You're either... And the irony that he refers to these assholes that are on his show as guests as anti-war is fucking cartoonish. Because they're not. Jimmy and everybody on his show is pro-war. They're just rooting for Russia. Where are these assholes? Hold on. Yeah. Yeah. Jimmy and Kurt and whoever this dickhead are. They're all rooting for Russia to murder as many Ukrainians as possible. And apparently, again, furthering the anti-Semitic argument that Zelensky is deserving of a coup, the Jewish president of Ukraine, duly elected, by the way, 6 years after the alleged coup, they had another election. He was elected. He won an actual election in Ukraine. A Jew who Jimmy thinks should be killed as a Nazi because basically they're the Jews are the new Nazis now. That's the argument. Because again, when Russia does it, it's fine, but when Israel does it, it's bad. When Russia does it against Zelensky, it's okay. But when the Jews do it against the Palestinians, it's wrong. What's the one corresponding trait in the people who Jimmy and his asshole friends all see as being in the wrong and deserving of dying? Thank you, Leslie. What do they share? They're all Jews. Curious, isn't it? You're watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide, and I greatly appreciate it. Tomorrow morning, I have an 9 a.m. Pacific time show, and then an afternoon show as well at 3 o'clock. If you like what I do here, and you like seeing somebody take on these videos long form and debunk them in real time, then come on back, watch the show, join in the chat, say hi.